Worst case scenario, this crashes and burns, and I have to do another run later in the week at some point. Alright, let's do it. Hope for the best. And then actually have my notes up, because I didn't have my notes up. There we go. Doesn't matter. I don't need the notes for like 20 minutes anyway, but still. Alright, let's go ahead and get going. Alright. Ugh. I really want to get my time down to a more accurate level so that if I continue to submit this game to any marathons, speedrun marathons in the future, then I have a more accurate estimate for how long the run will be. Because I do not have an accurate estimate yet. Alright. Have a good night, and thank you for the good luck. See, if I was a normal, well-adjusted adult, I would be going to bed. But I'm not a normal, well-adjusted adult. So I'm not doing that. Alright, that's one sun gem. I mean, 12:30. I would say 12:30 is enough of a normal bedtime, as long as you're not somebody who has to get up at like 6 or 7 in the morning. And even then, it's not that bad. Because, like, if I were to go to bed right now and then wake up for work in the morning, I would still get 8 hours. Because I work from home on Mondays and don't have to log on to work until my 9:30 in the morning meeting. So I would very easily still get 8 hours, so I went to bed right this minute. I'm not doing that. But you know, normal, well-adjusted adult stuff. Alright, I need to not mess up the tutorial here, because I need to scroll down and pick that. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter. Yes, it is a new samurai angle. And I'm still early enough in the run that you can watch it without getting spoiled, Johan. Alright. I mean, to be fair, half of my split names don't really give you any info. But also, yes, everything on screen right now is stuff that you're probably already aware of. Because you have beaten Chapter 3. Alright, time for a trick. Let's try and get this quickly. And if I fall into the void, then I will just reset. Hell yeah, that was pretty good. equip it. Whoops, I did not mean to walk into the water there. Ah, dang it, I didn't make it across first try. There we go. Second try's not bad. Whoops. Ah, I don't even know what the hell I was caught on. That's annoying. Oh well. It's fine. I lose like 1 coin by running away. Unfortunate. I don't even know where the enemy went. I also forgot that this cutscene was a thing, which I can avoid, but I forgot it existed. Right, grab this sun gem real quick. There's definitely a few spots that I can be using buckler hops to save little bits of time here and there, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Alright. Boss time. Hi, cats. Unfortunately, that's why you have to go to bed, is because you're not watching Hi. Alright. Because the burn, I only need 3 hits. And there we go. And I will split on leaving the room. Thank you for the luck good, Tango. Yeah, we cooked those rats. I mean, yeah, they kind of suck, but also they're funny. Alright. Every single time I've done a run, I have forgotten that guy is immediately outside of the door and walked straight into him. Thank you for the good luck, Danny. Appreciate it. One of these days, I will remember not to run directly into that guy. Today is not that day. Let me grab these coins. Probably don't need them, but it takes not a lot of time to grab them, so I will just grab them to be safe. I'll grab this. And thank you for the GL Nomis. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Unless you want me to pronounce the first G. There is no other second G, but it is the first G. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I assumed it was silent. The synergy changes, I have no idea if they matter, because I'm on console, and console is not up to date. I am playing on a very unoptimal patch at the moment. Because this is before... The patch that is currently on consoles is before they made the change to the Chapter 4 berry, so I can't even get the 1 Chapter 4 berry early on this patch. So whenever that patch finally comes to consoles, it's just like a free 2 minutes of time save. I haven't actually checked, but I'm pretty sure I'm still on a patch that has Cthulhu able to be poisoned. but I'm not routing that into any of my runs because it's not worth using a strategy and relying on it and just having to completely change my route the next time a patch comes out. So I'm just not going to worry about it. I don't have to check my emails. Talk to him. This is not a very quick Sun Gem, but it's a Sun Gem that's along the way, so it's quick enough. Alright. I'll just grab the one back here now. Alright. Now to go out of bounds some more. This one's not too bad of a trick, but it is a little finicky. Alright, this one I can just do with one controller. Because the jumps are, whoops, not too precise. There we go. Let's go around. There we go. Ah, damn it, I fell off. Okay. This is not a trick that I've really practiced at all. I just assume that I'm going to get it fine in runs. And I usually do. Ah, dang it. This sign's a little... Alright. This is not going ideally. There we go. That's okay. Oh, I fell off again. Damn it. Okay. Maybe I should have practiced this. Well, if this goes, like, too badly, I might just reset and start over, but as long as it doesn't take, like, another 2 or 3 tries, I should be fine. There we go. That was pretty bad, but I got it. I think I ended up losing time because of how long that took, but it's fine. I mean, yeah, there's the whole certification process for consoles. So, like, I'm not surprised it takes a lot longer, but it is unfortunate. Alright, I'm definitely going to be losing, like, 30 plus, probably closer to a minute on that split. That's okay. Not the end of the world. Yeah, that skip lets us skip talking to Helga, and we skip talking to Mr. Moon. And so it saves like 45 seconds if you get it first try. We do later go back to talk to Helga because we don't have our synergy abilities yet because we skipped talking to her. But the next time but whenever we do talk to her, she just gives them to us immediately, so it's not like they're permanently gone or anything. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, what? He just ran across the gap. That's unfortunate. This jump's not that hard. I'm just being bad. There we go. Pick up a couple extra coins. Alright. Oh yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of them in some of these early chapters. Yeah, because yeah, console doesn't even have the update where it numbers the sun gems in the menu. That's how far behind we are. Favorite character? Not actually sure. There's a lot of good characters. I do appreciate this is a game where the main character is actually a good character and not just silent the whole time. Because Flint is actually a pretty fun character. I do appreciate that a lot. I'd say there's no bad characters really in this game, because even the characters that are quote-unquote bad are kind of intentionally bad. Thing is, like, yeah, like, the pigs are shitheads, but I do like the pigs. I think they're fun. Oops. Yep, I'm already losing time. That's unfortunate. Alright, now I'm gonna stick to the easier version of the skip because that unicorn can suck a dick. Oops. Alright. Oops. Got caught in a bush. Alright, yeah, we lost a good chunk of time there. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Oops. I will also catch up on chat in a second. And I could just get across this gap using buckler hops, but like, I'm good. Doesn't take that much more time to just ride that thing down. This one, on the other hand, I do have to buckler hop across. There we go. Alright, didn't want to break that crate, but that's okay. Oh, come on. This jump's not that bad. Should not be taking this many tries. There we go. Alright, get across here. Oh, that guy's chasing me down. Alright, get there. Oops. I'll just do that, and then get this guy. Oops. There we go. Nope. Alright, take this a little safely because I'm still not super confident in platforming here, specifically here. I'll just wait for the next platform cycle because I took a while. There we go. Okay, no, I think the gag that his music was bad in the universe was kind of funny. It was overplayed a little bit for sure, but I thought it was a good gag. And I think it is extra funny because Wolfgang's theme is the best character theme of the 5 main characters, which I just thought added to it a little bit. So there's a few jumps coming up here that I could get them fine, but I definitely could afford to practice them a bit. But I should be fine. Get this sun gem. Go back here. Shop. Make sure I buy an explosive brew. This jump's not hard. I'm just being bad. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to take a safety save here, just in case. I should be fine, but it doesn't take long. There we go. There we go. And we skip Trollbird. Oh yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, unless we could figure out how to get to the pigs without blowing away the wooden house, wind is not skippable, unfortunately. Let me get these. Ow, I missed. Alright. Oh, come on. I hate this jump's really annoying. I am not very good at it. Oh, come on. I just didn't jump. There we go. And walk down here. Ah, I was not far enough down. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is definitely a jump that I could afford to practice a little bit. That's fine. Oh, what? Okay, I wasn't far enough. I just kind of slid off again. Nope, that was bad. A little further left. There we go. Okay. I'm probably not even saving time with this trick because of how long it took me, but that's fine. There we go. And then it's... Okay. And then I do have my notes up, I just have to remember to actually read them. Not that. Oops. And then up here. And then this way. Oh yeah, no, this game does not like it when you don't have the partners that it intends you to. Which is unfortunate, because it's very easy to do. Right, up, down, right. Alright, then I go left. Then down right. Then down... left. Ah, dang it. Did not avoid this guy well. I need to work on figuring out how to avoid this guy well, but that is a problem for later. Whoops. I landed on it and... Alright. Thankfully, if I go too far, I can just do that. Oh, it's spawning me here. What's in this chest? Ink bottle. Cool. Oh, that's actually a really nice ink bottle. Alright, that's one less sun gem I can get, actually. I didn't realize there was an ink bottle that was so close right there. Alright, and then down, up, over here, and then down to the right. Alright, there we go. I forget, is there a sun gem behind this house? I remember there's something behind this house. I forget if it's a sun gem. Oh, we got a spam bot. If it's a sun gem, I want to get it. Yep, it's a sun gem. Cool. That's good to know. Because that one's not too far out of the way. Oops. And there we go. Yeah, we don't want any, we don't need any of those bottom viewers here. Only top viewers. Talk to you. All right. I think I might save a little bit of time on this split, but not a lot. I definitely can save a lot more time on this split than I did here. But as long as I'm not losing time, that's good enough. I could definitely save easily like another minute or so. All right. While I'm here, let me grab this sun gem. Make sure I buy the right stuff, considering I can't read. Alright, so I have 13 already, that's good. I don't need that many more. And then this. But yeah, by waiting to actually get my synergy abilities to now, thanks to that skip, we can wait to talk to her until we have like a bunch of abilities, a bunch of ink bottles and abilities to upgrade. Okay, I remembered to not enter the tutorial there, which is good. This one. Requiem. Because I have an extra, which I'm not supposed to have an extra, but I have an extra, I can just do that. Oops. Alright, then I had 13 bottles, so 13 sun gems, I only need 3 more in that case. And I can easily get 3 more between Chapter 2 and 3. And I don't need to buy anything else until after I get patches anyway. Also, Johan, if you haven't seen this before, because we already put down the bridge that the unicorns can cross, despite not actually, like, making it so they can get over here, we can just blow away this house. Cutscene happens. They fuck off. We can just, you know, now we've got the key. Now we can let everybody through. Wow, we did such a good job. So yeah, that's why we put down the bridge. Yes, the speedrun finally lets us be anti-union. Alright, go ahead and heal. Oops. Right. For a second, that's what I was supposed to do. Yeah, no, it's very unfortunate that it's just like, it's just not there at all until you can actually get there. Alright. Requiem. Also banger. Alright. Damage doesn't really matter. Alright. Phase 1 complete. And because Flint still has his turn, he can use his synergy to stun this guy. And this way he does not spawn anything or use any attacks. Specifically, he doesn't spawn a shield bot. And then I can use Explosive Brew. There we go. Explosive Brew. He'll die from the fire. And there we go. Alright, not a massive gold, but still a gold. Because I actually got half-decent RNG with the burdens. Oh yeah, life would be a lot easier if that was a strat we could use IRL. Alright. Now I can fuck off. Alright, so I don't need my notes for a while, and I need to remember that I am doing some pretty different stuff in Chapter 2 with the routing. Alright. This is the one time in the run we have to read our emails. Alright. Here. Alright, let's go get the key. It is very nice that those guards don't stop you on the way out, otherwise it would be really unfortunate. I mean, I feel like the only thing that would potentially make Chapter 1 faster is if we somehow managed to skip the whole Enchanted Woods maze, which I'm not expecting to ever be possible, but that would be like one of the only major things left that might potentially be possible. Here, I want to go over here. Yeah, it's like wouldn't be surprised if it's completely impossible, but that feels like one of the few things left. Alright. This jump kinda blows. Didn't even jump. Cool. Dude, come on. Okay, cool. First time I actually frickin' jumped, I made it. Alright. I need to not mess up this room, like I have before. I just fucking walked off like an idiot. Cool, thanks me. I said don't do that. Alright, well this library is officially total ass now. Oh well. I can make that up later. But this library is going to be very, very bad now. I did not mean to hit the screenshot button. I will delete that later. Okay, at least I got it quickly. But yeah, I did not remember there was no railing there. So that was very dumb. Okay, well now that I've done that once, hopefully that just means I never do it again. Alright. Well, at least I didn't get first struck. That could have been worse. Alright, go ahead and hit that. Go get my buckler upgrade. And then go back up. Okay, I at least avoided the guy on the way back. That helps make up for falling back down like I did earlier. Alright, didn't make the first cycle there, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. Alright. I mean, I feel even if you could duplicate that upgrade, I don't think extra copies of it would do anything. I imagine it just, like, sets your damage to 3, it doesn't actually upgrade it by 1. Alright, well, I should have dodged that, but oh well, that's fine. Alright, I'm gonna be losing so much goddamn time here. Very unfortunate. hits I actually need on that guy. Alright. Alright, yeah, lost almost a minute. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Alright, so with the reroute... there's a lot of stuff that I can cut out here. So there should be a very, very free gold on both of the Chapter 2 splits. But how much of a gold will be determined by how not shit I am at the tricks and the Cthulhu fight. Thank you. I put that was one of the ones that I had to put more than like 1 second of thought into because I didn't know what to put. Alright. Because I specifically made sure that, like, most of my splits are, like, half a second of thought put into what they are. So they're all technically jokes, but most of them are not funny. And that's exactly what I wanted. Alright. Still gotta get that sun gem behind the thing here. Because that one's not too far out of the way. But I don't need to talk to that guy. Oops. Better jump. I didn't jump. Cool. Thanks, game. This jump's not hard, I'm just bad at it. There we go. I wanted to see if I can get the coins quickly. Alright. And then this thing is very easy to get. And then by getting this, we can go back to the entrance. I'm trying out some route changes this run. If they go poorly, they go poorly. I have not put as much thought into these as I probably should have, but I'll live. Alright, so that should be the last sun gem I need. I'm pretty sure I don't need any more. Alright, let's go get Eva. You know, that's the nice thing about not needing a good number of gems, but not needing a ton of them, is that there's enough that are not far off the beaten path that you can easily grab, which is nice. I forget, does she only need 2 more damage, or does she need 3 more? She only needed 2 more. Okay, that's fine. Actually, I think I normally do it after this, but whatever. It's not really that big a deal. I'm gonna save a bunch of time on the split anyway. Oh, I didn't make that? How's that not making it? There we go. About here. There we go. Cool. Probably should have saved before doing it, just for safety, but we're fine. We didn't need it. This Cthulhu fight is probably going to be kind of sketchy, but I'll figure it out. Because not having that extra damage from Wolfgang does kind of matter. So we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, I forgot about this sun gem right here. Okay, well, I'll have an extra sun gem in that case. That's fine. That means I can just go straight to Cthulhu, and I don't have to worry about getting the upgrade. Alright. Honestly, I feel like we're not terribly far off from the point where we don't need to grab Poison Infusion anymore. It's still useful in Chapter 3 for sure, and potentially useful in the Mr. Moon fight as well. But it's not as useful as it used to be anymore. Because in a lot of places where it matters, we could just replace it with putting the attack up on Flynn. Oh, dang it. That's unfortunate. Doesn't matter that much, but it's unfortunate. Yeah, it is 3 TP. Like, at the moment, it still makes sense to keep it, but it's not useful in... It doesn't make a huge difference in many places outside of the final fight, really. Alright. Go ahead and heal. And then equip Flint with this. And Wolfgang with this. And that's it. Oops. Forgot Alright, this is the bottom option. The third poison infusion is in the Stairs of Success. The first one is where I just got it from. The second one is in, I think, the Chapter 3 shop, I think it is. And the third one is, I think, floor 20 or 30 of the stairs. I forget exactly where. Alright, time to lock in. Poison attack. Ah, I hit it a little too early. Damn it. That sucks. That is... Getting that turn 1 and messing it up is very bad. I whiffed that block. Cool. Alright, more poison. Cool. I hit it too early again. Use the Boba. I am not hitting any of my blocks. This is very embarrassing. Why the fuck am I offline? Okay, cool. I won. Why am I offline? What am I doing? I don't need to go up there. Well, actually, no, I do need to go up there. But I don't need to go to the Cheshire Cat. That's what I need, is the case. Okay, so I need to upgrade Fang Feast. And that's it. Oh, what? That did not get me where I need to be. Okay, good enough. I'm missing one coin. Why the fuck am I missing a coin? Alright, well, I'll just have to buy that cookie later. Why is my internet down, dude? I'm finishing the run, I guess, for the sake of it, but, like, this sucks. Is my internet working or no? man. This is stupid. This is just fucking stupid. My internet is very frustrating right now. Oops. Oops. I am quite distracted at the moment because of my internet. Like, I'm already this far into the run, I'm gonna finish it out, but, like, still. Oops. Oh, how did that not make it? Dude. Make it across the gap. I don't know why this jump is so hard for me, but it is. Dude, come on. Okay. Alright, I don't know if the stream's back up yet. I'll have to mess with it in a second. Alright. It should be fucking back up. I am so fucking pissed off right now. I am very annoyed. Don't talk to the fucking rat, go through the goddamn door. Because it's not that my internet shat itself, it's specifically my Ethernet cable that did. So I had to physically unplug my Ethernet cable and reconnect, and not even reconnect, just connect to the Wi-Fi network, because I've never had to connect to the Wi-Fi network on my computer before this. So while text mashing with one hand, I had to unplug my Ethernet cable, connect to the Wi-Fi, and try to figure out what the fuck was going on. And finally got it working. Let me just grab those 3 coins. I probably don't need them, but I'm gonna grab them anyway. Alright, pull my notes back up so I can actually play the game. And also, I saved 4 minutes on Cthulhu, but my Cthulhu split last run was bad. I got Seal Spell early was bad, and the Cthulhu fight itself was bad, in addition to skipping Lighthouse and skipping the Wolfgang upgrade. Both of those two things together, in addition to just having a better split, saved a shit ton of time. Alright. I can keep that equipped. Wolfgang, I don't want that, I want that. I probably should have waited to do my equips now. I also didn't need to do my equips yet, but whatever, it's fine. Not that big a deal. This is first fight, I am just using Tinder anyways. Well, it's a good thing my Xbox console didn't need to be online, because my Xbox console is also plugged into Ethernet. So if this game required me to be online, I would be in trouble. But thankfully that is not something I need to worry about. There it is. Alright, Chapter 3 is just gonna be a lot of fights. Not really too much going on. Right, I need to talk to Wolfgang. Forgot about that. That is the biggest problem with playing not in English, is if I ever forget exactly what I need to do at any given point, I just have to hope I remember, because I cannot read the text to find out. Thankfully, it's not really a huge concern. Like, I'm already past most of the spots where that would matter, but still need to keep it in mind. This. All right. I'm still mostly using this very similar routing for these fights as I did before, even when I did have the upgrade. I'm just not gonna ever do normal attacks with Wolfgang unless I have to. The three blind mice fight might be a little sketchy as a result, but I'll figure it out. That's a lot of them. Okay. A little unfortunate how many of them survived, but not a big deal. Alright. Just gotta mash through the dialogue and get to the next fight. Thankfully, I am local recording, and so the fact that the stream went down for a little while there doesn't affect that fact. I don't know why I keep using Buckler Barrage. I have the attack up. I could just do a normal attack. Whatever, not a big deal. Alright, I have 6 TP already, so... let's boost my MP. And then here's Johan's favorite character. Alright, so in my notes I have Wolfgang out for this fight. So I'll figure it out as I go. Even if I just maintain this 4-minute lead, relatively speaking, up until R&D, where it's going to be another 5 minutes of time save, I'll be in half-decent shape. Dang it, I have got blown away. Alright. Not having the upgrade on Wolfgang did matter there, because I wouldn't have had to switch to Eva, but it's not that big a deal, thankfully. Routing this stuff on the fly is not going as well as it could have. That's fine. Scuffed, but that's fine. Boost HP. And then here on out, for the rest of the run, alternate between HP and MP. Thank you for the good luck, Mario fan, and thank you for the follow. He came in just in the middle of half of the run, basically. Because this chapter is stupid long. Alright. On to Pork Cutlass. Let's see how much time I lose on this chapter. Or on this split, I mean, not this chapter. I mean, Paper Mario games are good, so. Which Paper Mario game did you play as of recently, though? Because there's more than one that could apply to. I do need to go to the shop and buy stuff, but I can do that on the way out. Oh, the 1,000 Year Door remake. Nice. Good choice. That is a very good choice of Paper Mario game to play. Arguably the best choice, depending on who you ask. So I don't want to talk to you again. Go to the shop. I mean, like I said, it's arguable because it's all opinion-based. In my opinion, TTYD is the best Paper Mario, but I like Paper Mario 64 more. And casually speaking, I think the remake is better than the original. Oh yeah, no, I 100%'d it when it came out. Basically, the TTYD remake came out, I bought it right away, and... Oops. Don't need to go back up there yet. But yeah, I bought it right when it came out, 100%ed it, and had a great time. Oh wow, I am losing a lot more time than I was expecting here. I will just chalk that up to me trying to fix my internet at the beginning of the split. Because that, unironically, probably lost me like 20-30 seconds, if not more than that. The rest I'm just going to blame on the bad fights. This cookie is slow, but it's not so slow that it's worth ignoring. Oops. It's like, if I were to only recommend somebody play a single Paper Mario game and never another one, I would probably recommend T2ID on Switch. Partially because it's the most accessible, because it's on Switch, and you don't have to have NSO or anything. Oops, I don't need to talk to you. Because it's like the only two games on Switch, Paper Mario games, that are quote-unquote the most accessible are Origami King and the TTYD remake. And PM64 is on NSO, but I would argue NSO is like one notch lower as far as accessibility goes. And then Color Splash is the least accessible. I would say SPM is probably next for accessibility because more people have Wii's than 3DS's, and then Sticker Star is probably above Color Splash in accessibility, but below SPM. And then original TTYD I would put up... Technically, I would put original TTYD one notch above Color Splash in terms of accessibility, if we're not counting emulation, of course. Because I would say, because while the GameCube games are playable on the Wii and that makes it very accessible, that game is probably the most expensive of the bunch to buy used. It's gone down a lot in price. Like, I don't think it's $100 anymore to get a physical copy of TTYD, but it is still not cheap. I mean, I was looking at it the other day, and I think I saw a couple of copies on eBay for like 40 or 50 bucks. Which, like I said, not cheap, but not $100 either. I think I only saw like one copy at $40, and I think I saw another copy at like $60 or $70. But even if they're going for $60 or $70 across the board, that's still better than it was a couple of years ago. And I do think the TTYD remake did help with that a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it was up to 150 at one point. It got real bad for a while. Which is why I'm glad I have my copy from, you know, 15, 20 years ago. Oops. There we go. Same goes for original Paper Mario 64 as well. Because that game is also not cheap if you want to get an English copy. So I forgot to switch off of patches. Oh, I'll manage. Yeah, no, the new bosses in the DTRP remake are fun. Prince Mush is one of those fights where I don't think he's actually, like, that bad once you understand the mechanics of the fight. Depending on when you fight him, of course, just like every optional boss in a Paper Mario game. But the mechanics of the fight are not easy to understand at a glance. That's what I was trying to do, I just forgot what I was doing for a second there. Switch to Eva. Because it is really not obvious what the stances mean until you fight him for a little bit. And then, once you do figure out the stances, he's not, like, that bad. But you still have to remember which stance is which and how to do all that stuff. And then the other boss that they added is also... as long as you're not cheesing it with, like, Danger Mario strats, obviously, because Danger Mario trivializes everything in every Paper Mario game, basically. As long as you're not doing that, then, yeah, like, the optional bosses are legitimately good challenges, especially if you fight them earlier than later. Because I think I beat Prince Mush before... I forget when exactly I beat him, but it was definitely before I finished the story. I want to say it was maybe Chapter 5 or 6 that I beat him, which was probably a good time to fight him. These guys have 5 health. I really have no faster way of killing them than this without prep work. Attack I use. Yeah, it's like, I think what happened was the first, like, the moment I got the message for fighting him, I gave the fight a shot, I got absolutely eviscerated, and decided, okay, I'm gonna come back and do this later. And then I came back like a chapter or 2 later to give it another try, and that's when I was actually able to beat him. That's not who I want to have out. That's also not who I want to have out. There we go. That's what I need to do. Poison would be really nice here. Okay, well, it's a little too late for it to matter, but whatever, that's fine. Okay, and then item, explosive brew. Swap to Eva, because she's going to do more damage. And I don't remember how much health he has left, so I'm just going to do this until it looks like he's dead. Okay, he's still not dead. That's fine. Okay, he only had 2 health left, or 1 health left. And I do need to make sure I heal. Well, next up is the ghost ship, so I don't need to heal right this second. Heal in a minute. Mostly just because if Wolfgang doesn't have enough health, then I'm kind of in trouble. But I should be fine. Oh no, not my local cache. Doesn't matter. Alright. Let me just heal now so that I don't forget. Okay, now the real challenge. Do I remember the path to get through this thing? I'm pretty sure I do now. But we'll see. Ah, damn it. I thought I was one more down before I had to go to the right. Oh well. That's fine. Made it across, no issues other than that. Oops. Whoops. That was not my best work, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. This thing into position. That's good enough, I think. I'll just wait for the next cycle because I didn't go too fast. There we go. Almost forgot to grab the bones. Gotta grab them. Alright. On we go. One more fight, and then it's, the Volcano Island. Molten Maw Volcano. Oh, come on. I was hoping at least one of the enemies would get blown away. Or one more of the enemies. I did get one of the enemies, which is actually good, because it means I don't need to waste stuff. Just end it with this attack. Alright. My last level up, I raised my MP, so let's raise my HP. Alright. Volcano time. You know, I probably didn't need to heal there. I don't think Wolfgang took so much damage that it was required. but I'm still kind of figuring out these fights for routing, so I'm just gonna go for it. Alright. So there's just a bunch of platforming and then also 2 fights in this area. There we go. Alright, not my best jumps, but that's fine. Not the end of the world. They don't have to be my best jumps, they just need to be decent jumps. Okay, there we go. Hand it over, fire, and then we're good. This is one of the few areas of the chapter that actually has some sauce, as far as tricks go. There's not a ton here, but there's definitely not nothing either. Dang it. I was trying to get around him, but it didn't work. Not the end of the world. Having to run from one fight is time loss, but I didn't get first struck, and I didn't first strike the enemy, so that's both of those things is good, if nothing else. Okay. Let's keep going. Oops. Those coins to be safe. I have to wait a cycle here anyways. Actually, I forget if you could actually make that first cycle if I remembered what I was doing, but not a big deal. Yeah, I don't know what causes neither side to get a first strike, but that's not the first time it's happened to me, by any means. It's not common. Oh, I didn't want to hit that. It's not common, but like I said, I have had it happen to me before. It is not just those enemies. I've had it happen to with other enemies in the past. Kill these guys for some extra XP, so hopefully I can get, because that'll give me enough XP to get an extra level before Mr. Moon, which is good. And then I can make that cycle. There we go. Okay, be a little careful in this room. It's the easiest dark room in the game, but it is still a dark room. There we go. Good stuff. And then be careful and actually hit these guys. forget if these guys have 6 or 7 health, so I'm just gonna do full damage. Unfortunately, the other guy spotted me, which means I'm not gonna get a first strike on him, but I'll live. Oh wait, no. Oops. There we go. Okay. That was scuffed, but it worked. It saves me a turn of the fight. Just do that, and then do this. Nice and easy. Alright, I gotta go back through the dark room, which shouldn't be too bad, but it's still a little sketchy, maybe. Depending on how my movement is. Alright. Take out Tinder. There we go. And now for the funniest skip, in my opinion. Okay. And I will save a little bit of time here, but not a ton. Oops. But yeah, the funniest skip. Just fall in the lava and success. Alright, I could definitely save some more time there on that split, because I had a couple extra encounters that I needed, and some of my jumps weren't the best, but I will take an 18-second gold. I will not complain. Like, it makes sense if you think about it, because they don't want to have you fall in the lava and have that be weird, and that's probably the easiest solution for that, but it is still kind of funny. That's how it works. Alright, but with how this run's going, I don't think I'm going to be getting much better than a 245 on this. Which is unfortunate, but that's not the end of the world. A PB is a PB, even if it could have been better. Especially when I lose like 20 or 30 seconds to being distracted by my internet going out, so it could be worse. Okay. I will take it. One of the enemies got blown away. It's better than 0. It's getting blown away. Ow. That's actually a little unfortunate because of the exhaust. Doesn't really actually matter, but in a different universe it could have mattered. Oops. Alright. Only a couple more fights. Oh yeah, I forgot the next fight's Trollbird. I was reading my notes and I'm just looking at like what moves I should probably use in the next fight and forgot I didn't actually look at what enemy I wrote down was next. Ow. I wonder if this will need an extra turn because of the less move getting damage. Probably not, but we'll see. Switch to Eva. Okay. Ouch. Alright. remember how much health he has left, so I'm just gonna do this. And there we go. Okay. Same amount of turns as before. Alright, last time I upgraded the HP, so I'll do MP this time. Okay. Alright, and then Wolfgang, want to equip that, equip that. So, this fight is gonna be a little sketchy because Wolfgang has less damage. And I'm not switching my strategy, even though I probably should. So I'll figure it out. If I have to do a couple extra attacks, I have to do a couple extra attacks. Not the end of the world. Swap to Eva. And defend. Alright. Just start fanging him. Just bite over and over again. Okay, yeah, they were supposed to not be a stack anymore after that. I don't think it matters that they're still a stack, but it was supposed to be what happens. Not a big deal, though. That one's dead, and this one's dead. I don't even think that cost me an extra turn. Alright. And then I think the Captain Silver fight is also going to be a little sketchy, but I'll figure it out. Specifically because I think all of the rounds that Wolfgang is involved in are exact kills, so I'll figure it out. Well, I mean, I would recommend playing this game. It's a pretty good game, and it's in the same style as Paper Mario games, so if you like Paper Mario, you will most likely like this game. But also, even if you don't play the game, I would recommend listening to the music, if nothing else, because I think this game has a pretty good soundtrack. Yeah, it's like, I don't think this is... I mean, the easiest game to compare this directly to is Bug Fables. And I think Bug Fables is the better game in the sense that... I think Bug Fables has higher highs than this game, but this game's a lot more consistent overall. Like, this game doesn't hit the same peaks as Bug Fables, but it rides a pretty stable level of being consistently good the whole way through. Alright, there we go. I mean, yeah, like, this game doesn't take itself seriously for 95% of the runtime, which I'm fine with. As long as, if you're not going to take your game seriously, as long as you will back that up with being funny, which this game does, that's fine by me. And it does have, like, a handful of more serious moments, but, yeah, overall it does not take itself very seriously. It's like I think one of the... Let me make sure I played the right song. There we go. what I think one of the quote-unquote bigger issues with this game is just I wish it had a little bit more content to it. That's one of those, if I have that complaint about a game that I wish there's more to it, that's a good problem in the sense that I want more of the game. I liked the game enough to want more of it. So, like, I liked what was there enough to wish there was a bit more of it. Because it's not that this game doesn't have a lot of content or anything, it's just I wish it had a bit more side stuff that, like, was meaningful. Because there's, like, a lot of the side stuff is pretty, like, inconsequential overall. Which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but... yeah, Bug Fables has a lot more side stuff that matters, so to speak. I mean, it depends on if you're including the trouble system from TTYD. I mean, it also helps that Bug Fables has added some content after the fact in post-launch updates. Most of the content was there at launch, but there was a handful of things that were added after the fact. Oops. This is not gonna kill, I don't think. Yeah. He needs one more damage. I'm just gonna assume that this is fine for me to do. Okay. Thank you for the good luck, Xanaru. Fang Feast. I actually would have been able to kill the Moonrun, which I think would have saved a little bit of time, but not a big deal. Yeah, it's like the fact that this game had one central hub did contribute to how it feels as an overall package, but it did do a good job of, like, making sure there was still stuff happening, and, like, you were still finding new places to go throughout the game. Whoops. Messed it up, but doesn't matter. Yeah, we're actually the ones being the traitor. You can't tell because the game's not in English, but we are not the good guys here. Come on, poison. Come on, poison. Alright, the fact that I got exactly one extra poison damage was enough to make it so I only needed one pair of attacks to win that. Alright. Whoops. I fucked that up. That doesn't really matter too much, but I fucked that up. Alright, I think I'm gonna need that burn, and then that'll kill. Yep, cool. despite how scuffed that fight ended up being, wasn't terrible. And I still saved some time on that split, so I'll take it. Honestly, I can't really tell. My old PB was... There's enough other route changes in here, and my old PB wasn't the best. That... A lot of this time save, I can't pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. Some of it I can pinpoint where it's coming from, because I did skip the loot upgrade, which is why I'm so far ahead at the moment, but... Yeah. And there's also some... some of the tricks didn't go the best. My text mashing hasn't been the best at times, because I had an entire internet issue that I fixed while text mashing, so my text mashing was not particularly fast during that. Yeah, it's like my library was very bad. I had a pretty big mistake in there. My Enchanted Woods was not the best either. I messed up Starless Skip a couple times at the beginning of the run, which also lost me a chunk of time, so it's like, those three things combined is probably like 4 minutes of time loss minimum. Alright. Go up here. Don't want to forget to do that. Alright. I don't think I have that much time to save on this split. So if I do save, if these jumps go well and I do save time here, that's going to be mostly from text, I think. Nope, never mind. I'm not going to be saving any time here, I don't think. Fuck off. I'm annoyed. Alright, well I am not saving any time on this split after that. I hate this jump. This jump sucks. There we go. Third try. Alright, have a good night. Enjoy your sleep. And I also hope the rest of the run goes well. I really hope it does. We'll see. No. I would say most of the run is not glitchless, it's just you came in during the one chapter that is pretty glitchless. Because Chapter 3 doesn't have a lot to it as far as glitches go, but almost every other chapter has a lot. Like, we skip almost the entirety of Chapter 2, for example. We don't do a... It's possible to get through the entirety of Chapter 4. Oh, no, I made it and then I fell off. Damn it. Okay. Are you fucking kidding me? I hate this jump. This jump sucks. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yep, I'm not saving time here. Oh well, that's fine. Not the end of the world. I have infinite time save in Chapter 4 because of a new jump. That will save me a lot of time. Oh no, apparently I saved exactly 1.7 seconds. must be entirely because of text, because that was very bad. Oh, so I feel like while my Port Cutlass split had a lot of time loss, in part because of Wolfgang having less damage, but not entirely from that. A lot of it was also from my internet shitting itself. But I think the other two splits in Chapter 3, a non-zero amount of the time save in those splits was probably from the fact that I golded both of those splits by like a combined 30 seconds. A non-zero amount of that was probably from the text. Because there's obviously a lot of text in Chapter 3. I also have not bought Bear Boost yet, so I will have to remember to do that after Chapter 4. That's why I save time there. That's not a real gold, but I'll keep it because I can still gold there. That gold is entirely because I forgot to buy Bear Boost and upgrade it. Whoops. Not a big deal. So yeah, I'm not gonna delete that gold because it's such a small margin, and I know I could still gold that split by that same amount normally, by just not fucking up the jumps a bunch. But I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Yeah, because I knew it felt wrong going straight to the forbidden section. I just forgot that I was supposed to do it there. Yeah, it's like, I could buy it now, but that genuinely doesn't really help me at all to buy it now. Because I don't need it until Mr. Moon's fight, which is obviously not until I leave Glacius 9 anyway. But yeah. Yes, I have run SpongeBob. I have run SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I was going to come back to that game, actually, and then this game came out, and I put that on hold. I even started derusting it, and then I stopped derusting it, because I learned this rule. Whoops, turn around, please. Alright, because I'm on an old patch, I can't get that berry up there early. Also, this is not the fastest way to do this, but it's the funniest way, so I'm gonna do it. There we go. But yeah, that is definitely not the fastest way, unfortunately. But it's funny. And I like my funny skips. Damn it. I would have dodged that guy if I actually done my buckler hop properly, but it's fine. I will have to dodge that guy 2 more times anyway, so... I mean, we crash-landed on this planet, so we have to go track them down. And so that's what the first half of this chapter is going to be, is just... going around the planet, figuring out where everybody is, and recollecting all of the partners. Whoops, I did not give him the berry. I did this last run. Where I forgot to give it to him. Oh well, not a big deal. There's Wolfgang. Wolfgang needs me to find 3 berries to give to him, and those 3 berries are going to just be scattered around, so I have to collect them. But I do need to go back and get a berry, because I You can get this berry early. Oh, damn it. You can get this berry early, but if I were to have gotten... Oh, God damn it. If I were to have gotten the berry early, I would have caused the game to soft lock. Because I don't have the patch on console that would fix that soft lock, unfortunately. And it would have saved a good chunk of time by me not having to go back and get it. Oops. There we go. Got the berry. I have to do this again. Oh, God damn it. The buckler hopped a little late. Oh well. As long as I don't fail the runway, it's not a big deal. There we go. Okay. Damn it. God damn it, dude. Dude, come on. Alright, well, I'm not making it across this time. Dude, this guy is pissing me off. I had time save on this split because I made some mistakes in the R&D section, but I am not going to get that time save, I guess. Now get the fuck over here so you're not in the way anymore. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate this guy so much. There we go. That jump's not hard. I just suck. Alright, well there's like a minute down the drain for literally no reason. That's annoying. And I'm just gonna fight this guy because you can technically skip this guy. In the sense that you can use glitches to not have to fight him. But since you have to walk through... Oh, come on. Ladder. That's fine. Since you have to walk past him, like, 2 more times after this and avoid him every time, it's just not worth it. I was not supposed to level up there. Oh well. That's fine. Like, that's actually good that I leveled up there, but I was not expecting it. I was actually supposed to level up after the Captain Silver fight, but my XP didn't work out that way, and so that works. It gets the job done. Oh wow, I'm losing so much time because of that one fucking enemy. Well, not exclusively because of that one enemy, but that one enemy is part of it. So yeah, here goes, like, half of my 3 minutes. Because that enemy decided to just completely screw me over. Yep, there goes over a minute. 'Cause fuck me. I definitely could have made that cycle, but it's fine. Not the end of the world. And this run is incredibly improvable still, unfortunately. Alright. Got him here. Okay. Thank God I made that jump first try. That jump would have been a massive pain in the ass if I did not get it first try, because of the snail in the back. But thankfully, it went well. Alright. So I could technically make it across that gap to the other floating bit of ice if I were to use a buckler hop and extend it, but no thanks, I'm good. It is not worth trying to do that just to fall in and have to wait extra long because I messed it up. Alright, well I got the first strike at least, which is not the worst thing ever. Alright, let's keep moving. And then, unfortunately, even though Tinder is literally right there, I cannot save her yet because I don't have Wolfgang. And it's not because I can't get up to her without Wolfgang, it's because the game's softlocked, so I don't have Wolfgang in the party. Which is unfortunate. It'd be very convenient if the game did not softlock there. Because then we could save some time by not having to go back for Tinder later. But unfortunately, that is not the world we live in. But now that we have all three berries, we can go save Wolfgang. Alright. Get through all the dialogue. Alright. Also, I did not realize that that enemy becomes a different enemy on the way back. It becomes a snail and not the flying guy. Alright, so unfortunately, this spot up here is a pain in the ass. Where it's like, the jump to get back up, you using a buckler hop is not actually that hard. But I'm just going to grow this plant because if I mess up the jump, then I'm going to get first struck by that guy. And I would rather just not have to deal with that. So I'll play it safe. Meanwhile, here I can just buckler hop up. Assuming I do it correctly. There we go. And even though I didn't get it immediately, that's still faster than growing the plant. Alright, back into R&D we go. Split on even the room, I guess? Cool. That's an actual 30-second point, though, even though it was not perfect by any means. And I would imagine a half-decent amount of that is from, text. From text. Alright, but this split here, this split is going to get absolutely eviscerated. How much I end up eviscerating this split by is entirely dependent on how quickly I get a difficult jump. But when I did warm up before the run, first time I attempted it, I got the jump first try, so that obviously means I'm going to get it first try now. Definitely. That's exactly what that means. Messed up the jump, so I'm just gonna use the platforms. It's slow, that's what I have to do. Alright. Whoops. Whoops. I hate that last one just because it eats your jumps like that half the time. But it's fine. I got up eventually. That's what matters. Alright, I'm gonna do a safety save real quick just because things could technically go wrong here, but I should be fine. As long as I don't get encountered by that guy. Alright, time to lock in. New skip time. That's not gonna make it. Alright, that was pretty fast, honestly. I'm happy about that. That was pretty solid. For reference, compared to how this section went in my PB with what we used to do here, that a first try for that would save me over 5 minutes. And so that's probably saving me like 4.5 plus. And then on top of that, this is like the longest text section in the game coming up here. And so not being in English will probably save me a decent chunk of time here as well. hello there, Cell. This run is okay. My execution has not been on point, but new tricks and route changes are the reason I'm going to be so far ahead. So it's one of those kinds of runs. But hey, time save is time save, even if it's exclusive just because of new stuff. Because, like, I'm about to gold this split here by, like, 5 minutes. It's going to be very hype. Because of a new trick, and the new trick went well. But now, I gotta dialogue mash until I get past this section. But because I'm not in English, the dialogue will go slightly faster. But yeah, this is the longest text mashing section of the entire game. Which is a bit unfortunate, but, you know, that's just how it goes. One part of the game has to be the longest with it. Alright. Alright, I'm not gonna get a full 5-minute gold here, unfortunately, but it'll be pretty close. It'll be closer to, I think, 4 minutes, but I did mess up some of the other platforming in this split, so that's why it's not going to be as much as it could be. But that's fine. Still a very large gold, with a lot of time save. Alright, 4 minutes and 24 seconds saved. With a little bit more on the table still. Alright, and then I am going to lose some time on this split, but that's just because I forgot to buy something earlier in the run that I was meant to do already. So I'm gonna have to do it now, instead. I also should have gotten the Tattered Book already, instead of doing this first, but whatever. The split's gonna be scuffed anyways. I don't think I need this ink bottle, but I'm gonna grab it anyways. Alright. I don't need to equip it yet, so I'm not going to. Yeah, I think that's gonna end up losing me like a minute on this split or something. Not the end of the world. I did submit this to RPG Limit Break, but I am not at all happy with what I ended up submitting, because what I submitted is my current PB that I'm comparing against. And that PB was obviously very improvable. But I didn't have a better run by the time submissions closed, so that's what I went with. But because I know that, like, things can go a lot faster, and it wasn't the best run, I ended up submitting with a 255 estimate over a 253 submission video, which I normally would never do. I would never submit with a 2-minute gap between my PB and my estimate, even if the run was 20 minutes long, let alone if the run's almost 3 hours long. But because I know that, like, I'm gonna obviously PB this run, assuming everything goes well from here on out by 6 minutes alone. Oh, come on. That should have made it. There we go. There we go. Alright. And then one more jump, and then it's boss time. Oops. There we go. Save, just to be safe. Alright. You're coming in at the tail end of the run, but you're coming in at the part of the run that still has a lot of interesting stuff going on. The part of the run that we're forced to do mostly as intended is the middle of the run. So the beginning and the first hour and the last like 45 minutes have a lot of interesting stuff. It's that middle hour that is unfortunately the least interesting, because it's just a bunch of scripted battles that we can't do anything about. Alright, boss time. Come on, poison. Okay, got a poison. Just took a little bit. I submitted in person. Yeah, this is why him being poisoned is so important, is because now each hit with the shield is doing 2 damage instead of 1. Also, arguably the best song in the game playing in the background right now. Assuming things have gone well, this should be the turn I... Yep, there we go, cool. How did I gold by 26 seconds there, despite having to buy something that I don't normally buy there? Oh, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna accept it. Yeah, for RPG Limit Break, I did submit this, and I submitted Evoland. And I'm not the only one who submitted Evoland. Somebody else also submitted it, but I figured, why not? Either I get it in, or I don't. And then the other guy gets it in. That's not my decision to make, I'll just make their decision slightly harder. Actually, I think that's where I normally split, is I think I technically split a little early, but eh. Oh, is he a staff member? I didn't know he was a staff member. because all I know about him is that apparently he had done an Evo Land run like a decade ago, and his PB on SRC is also a decade old, even though he has a more recent PB that he's just never submitted. Because it's highlighted on his Twitch channel. I will say, my PB is better. By like a minute and a half, assuming he doesn't have a better run than the one highlighted on his Twitch channel. That I just don't know about, which is very possible. But, again, it's going to come down to whoever they would rather have run it at the end of the day. Evo Land is not a game that requires an extremely high level of skill. And so as long as both of us are capable of pulling off all of the tricks, then they'll get a pretty comparable run from either of us as far as the actual execution of the run goes. Obviously, the commentary is where things would differ, but the gameplay itself probably won't be terribly different. Alright, final dungeon time. I'm annoyed. I messed it up. Not a big deal. Just need to run from the fight. Minor time loss is minor. Grab that, make sure I'm still up here. There we go. This dungeon doesn't have, like, any one massive skip, but it's a lot of small skips as I make my way through all the rooms, with one, like, medium-sized skip in the middle. But yeah, this game does actually have a lot of cool tricks and skips and tech. And by tech, I mostly just mean the one tech. Unfortunately, there's not much more than that. But that one tech is very useful and is used in a lot of different ways, so it doesn't feel like the same trick every single time you use it. And there is technically a little bit more than that, but a lot of it is based off of that one piece of tech. Oh, okay, this guy wanted to be mean. Okay. Thankfully, money doesn't matter at this point. I only need to spend money a single time, and that's to heal, before the next boss fight. And I only need 35 coins in order to do that heal, so I don't need to worry about healing, or I don't need to worry about money. Because I will level up from the boss fight, and so I don't have to heal afterwards. Oops. Game's being mean, not letting me up. There we go. Ow, goddammit. Alright, well, I'm definitely not saving time on this split, which is not the end of the world, just a little unfortunate. Okay. But that skip, that jump up here, this skips an entire cutscene and a forced fight, so now I just don't have to do that. That is the medium-sized skip in this dungeon. Can just run from this guy, he can't catch me. Oh, damn it. If he was in a different spot, I wouldn't have gotten hit by that, but it's fine. And Flint dying here does not matter in the slightest. Because when I run, he gets revived with 1 health anyways. I'm not fighting any of these guys, and I will heal before the next fight. That I have to do. Oops. one of the last annoying rooms. There's, I think, 2 more rooms to go through, and then it's just the last 2 bosses, and the run's over. I did not mean to read that sign. That's not a big deal. Oops. I thought I didn't make it up for a second there and almost walked off. Wait, I do actually want to grab this item real quick for safety. I should not need this item, but there is a very small chance that the next boss fight goes very poorly as far as the RNG goes, and I will need that item in that case. Oh, how did that hit me all the way up there? Are you kidding me, dude? That's annoying. Alright, and then I need to do one last equip. Unequip this from you. That, and that. Unequip that, and equip Bear Boost. Actually, equip Bear Boost, unequip Taunt. There we go. Alright, and now we have to fight the Board of Directors. Which is just 4 regular-ass people. Switch to patches. Bear Boost. And then, Rush. Okay, that's fine. Mash the A button as fast as I can. The market is looking bullish. Bear Boost. Roo Rush. There we go. And there we go. And I leveled up. Alright, I'm losing a lot of time here, unfortunately. Not the end of the world, but unfortunate. And what is especially unfortunate is this final boss fight, I am up against a perfect fight. And so any time I can save here is exclusively going to be from the text language saving me time in this cutscene. And it's only going to save me time if the fight goes perfectly. If the fight does not go perfectly, I might not save time, depending on what happens. Because the RNG in this final fight doesn't matter a lot, but it does matter a little. Because it basically just determines if I need to heal or not. And if I do need to heal, then that loses me like 10 seconds. Because it loses me the time of having to menu over to the healing item and using it. And depending on what I need to heal, I might also need to do an extra attack. Alright. So this is definitely not going to be the biggest PB in the world, but that's okay. It just means the next run can be even better. Well, hello there, Lucifer and co. Welcome in. You're just in time for the final boss, who I will absolutely eviscerate, assuming I don't mess anything up. Oops. Got caught on the railing. Alright. And the final boss is just a white woman. But it's a white woman with a giant robot. Ooh, turn 1 poison is really good, actually. Okay, nailing that poison block is actually good. Ouch. That bird's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. That is not the correct character. Damn it. Okay, well that's very unfortunate. That is actually a massive time loss. Because I didn't menu correctly. That means I'm going to be doing 3 less damage every attack from here on out. Because I messed that up. Okay, well, that sucks, but I'll live. That's just going to be a lot of time loss. It's not going to be the end of the run or anything. The turn 1 poison does help make up for it, but not a lot. Probably going to get an extra turn soon, which is bad. Yep, they get an extra turn. That sucks. Yep, and then there's the poison. Alright, so I'm gonna have to heal. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. That is not the attack I meant to use, but whatever. Too late now. Good poison luck salvaged that a little bit. Yeah, this is just a very, very scuffed final boss. I am not playing this particularly well. For anybody curious what I'm actually doing in this fight, the character in front, the little teddy bear guy, I'm using a move called Bear Boost, which gives a character +2 attack for 3 turns. But every single time I use it, it refreshes that 3-turn timer. And so as a result, every single time I use it, I am boosting the character in the back's attack by 2, and it's an additional 2 every turn. So right now he's at +12 attack, which is why he's doing 20 plus damage every single turn. Which is why messing it up and not using it when I did was such a big deal. I think I might have enough damage to just kill this turn, but I'm going to play it safe and use an extra one. Just to make sure I kill the boss. Alright, that was a very, very bad final boss, but oh well. I didn't lose, that's what matters. yeah, I was comparing against what was essentially a perfect final boss fight, so I was not going to beat it in the moment I made a single mistake. Oh well. It's still a 5.5 minute PB, even if I'm not very happy with that 5.5 minute PB. Because, with the route changes that I made and new skips and stuff like that, this should have been at minimum like a 7.5, 8 minute PB if I had played exactly as well as I did in my PB, but it was a lot less than that, which means this is very improvable still. Oh well, it is what it is. PB is still a PB. And that just means I have to do more runs of this to you know, fix that. Also, we do stop time, even though there's a whole bunch of dialogue mashing, just because people agreed, everybody else agreed that they just didn't want to have to worry about mashing all of this dialogue until the end optimally. Because there's nothing else for the rest of the game besides dialogue mashing until credits, and yeah, we just didn't want to have to care about this. Which I'm of the opinion that, honestly, we probably should include it in timing. Oh, but I don't care nearly enough to try and fight them on this, so I'll just take the early end. But thank you for the GGs. Yeah, like I said, this was a very improvable run, but I am glad I at least saved time in the places that I was supposed to save time, even if I lost time elsewhere. And if anything, losing a bunch of time on the final boss just means that it doesn't suck to compare against anymore, because I'm not up against my gold. Yeah, it's like, let's look back through the run. Beginning of the run, the prologue was actually decent. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was pretty good. And then immediately the first trick that was immediately after prologue, I botched and lost like 45 seconds to a minute on, because I think I got it like third try and messed it up a bunch. And then the next split I did gold, but my gold is very bad, and I can, because that's the split with the Enchanted Woods, and my Enchanted Woods was very bad. I lost like over a minute on one specific jump, and I can obviously do that a lot better. And then a bunch of other stuff was like small time losses here and there in that same split. Three Little Pigs fight actually went pretty well. I golded that, and there's not really too much to improve there, which is nice. The library was absolutely atrocious. I made a very, very dumb mistake, which lost me like a minute, which is why I lost so much time there. The next split, which is when I got to Innsbeak, that's what was actually okay. I did mess up a couple of the jumps a few times, and so it is definitely still improvable by at least like 30 more seconds, maybe even 45 if I do everything perfectly, but, you know, not bad. The Cthulhu split, that's where the biggest beneficiary of the route change came in, which is why I golded that split by 4 minutes. Well, I golded the split by 3.5 minutes, but saved 4 minutes there because my last run did not have a very good split there. But beyond that, I mean, I did mess up like a couple jumps a little bit here and there, but there wasn't really anything too major in that split that was a mistake besides that. Like, maybe 15 seconds faster from better execution, and then probably the Cthulhu fight could always be a bit better as well. The next split was very, very bad, but that's because I spent half of the intro dialogue mashing there, distracted by the fact that my Ethernet stopped working, and so I ended up spending like 4 or 5 minutes just messing around with my internet to try and get the stream back up. So my dialogue mashing, needless to say, was not optimal during that. In addition to some other stuff that was not optimal either in that split, so yeah. Of those 2 minutes, I'd say about like 30 seconds to a minute was from losing some time from the route change earlier in the run. because the route change is not getting an upgrade that takes like 2 or 3 minutes to go out of your way and get. And so not having that upgrade did make that split take a little bit longer as a result. But, you know, not having my Ethernet stop working will probably make that split go better next time. The next few splits were also very much not perfect, but I still saved some time on them, so those are still improvable. The Forbidden section, round 2, Electric Boogaloo. That was not great. I did not do that very well. I golded, but that's because I forgot to do a shopping trip during that I had to do later. And so the fact that I lost that much, or I saved time there despite losing a shit ton of time elsewhere in that split is exclusively because of that. So that gold is very improvable by just not messing up a ton of stuff. The next split was pretty bad because I ended up getting a bunch of encounters that I did not want or need. But it happens. But that's where most of that time loss came from. Then the split after that was pretty decent. Like, I don't really have any complaints there. R&D was... That's where the big new skip was, which is why I saved 4.5 minutes there. Not all 4.5 of those minutes are because of the skip itself, but it cuts out a lot of sections that I was bad at, and so it saved more time for me than the skip would normally save. But there's some other sections in that split was less than perfect, so, you know, yeah. And then I think this was only a gold because I split early, but I also did a shopping trip I don't normally do there. For the Mr. Moon fight. And so by doing that shopping trip, so even if I split earlier than I normally do, it doesn't really matter that much. But I also don't remember when I normally split, so it doesn't really matter that much. And then the last 2 splits were bad, but not so bad that it mattered. So, 247. I'm definitely not stopping with that time because I'm not super thrilled with that run, but I will take it. PB's a PB, after all. And I'm sure people will just keep finding new skips that I can integrate to save even more time. So, yeah, I'll take it.